Thank you for attending the session today. We are honored that you would take your time today to spend with us. We pray that you get out of this session everything you had hoped for and more. So after losing over 90 pounds and overcoming a life-threatening illness, the founder of Trailblazer Health Co., Matt Jones, proves transformation is possible. Blending behavioral psychology, practical health tactics, and spiritual wisdom, this session will guide you to align mind, body, and spirit for the life you were meant to live. Better health isn't a dream, it is a decision. Please help me welcome Matt Jones.
Alrighty. So I'll just keep sharing my screen. So as Dr. B introduced, and thank you for the patience today. It wouldn't be a Zoom conference if something didn't happen. But here we are. So yeah, my name is Matt Jones. I founded Trailblazer Health Co., like I mentioned, just to help people embrace the unique approach to a fulfilling and healthy lifestyle that was meant for them. I believe we were all created with a very unique identity and purpose. So such as the solutions for them should be unique as well. So I try to help people step out of the mainstream and away from a lot of the confusion, the comparison, the overwhelm, and a lot of these programs that just don't seem to work for most people, and understand really what those sticking points are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that keep people from stepping into that lifestyle that they deserve and that was meant for them. But today, we are talking about AI. So one of the things that I wanted to propose to everyone is, what if AI isn't exactly what we think it is? So I want to propose, what if we're one belief away from the lifestyle that we always dreamed of? And one of the things that sticks out to me is I don't think the AI era is actually as different as most people would lead it to believe. So AI seems to just be getting us answers more quickly to the same questions that we're asking. So a lot of people go to AI for the same questions. What is the fastest, the easiest, and the best approach to get from where I'm at now to where I want to be? But the confusing thing is, does this lead to behavior change or not? So a recent study actually showed here in 2026, about 8 to 10% of people are sticking to the goals and behavior changes that they set out to do. This is about the same as most other years. So just because we can get information as quickly as ever, it isn't necessarily translating to our behaviors changing as quickly as ever. So as we dive into a day full of AI expertise or anything else that you might be doing to set out and try to make a change in your life, whether that's to be healthier, more successful, start a business, get finances in order, quit a bad habit, whatever those behavior changes are, what are the things that are causing us to not be able to actually step into that new lifestyle that we hope to have? So one of the things that we have to pay attention to is AI solves an information problem. Like I said, it's going to get you this optimized plan quicker than ever before. But people typically don't fail because they don't know what to do. And this has really always been the case. People fail because they revert back to who they believe that they are. So when we take that into mind, and it comes to behavior change, our beliefs dictate a lot of our reality. So what do I mean by that? How we show up and perceive the world is a lot of this subconscious programming that our minds have gone through from our childhood, from our experiences, and from input of the outside world. And we have to be very conscious of where that input comes from, because that's going to help write a story in our mind. And as we start telling ourselves this story, and how we speak to ourselves will dictate how we can show up, what we believe is possible for change or what is not possible, and really how we are going to behave day in and day out. So this story that you might be telling yourself could be truth, or it could be some version of a lie that keeps you from receiving what you were meant to be, what you were meant to know, and what you were meant to do here in this life. So before we go any further, I just want to kind of open it up and just propose the idea to people. What is it that you came here to think about, to get productivity for, and what you're hoping to change? And what do you believe? What do you believe that you were created for? What do you believe about your body? What do you believe about purpose and work? What do you believe that this life is for?
I can go first, Matt, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
There's a reason you resonated with me. I'm an occupational therapist and also a healer, and I have a healing arts center. So everything you said with in the brief sentence where you introduced yourself, I'm like, oh, I like what you said. And my property is called Serendipity Meadows. I am probably I'm a newbie with a lot of this, and I will tell you because I'm older, I don't totally trust AI. I recognize it can be used for multiple purposes. So I actually signed on today so I could get more information so I could discern where I want to be with it. I'm meant to be a shining light in this world and the wise woman in the tribe. And I'm actually having a course today based on what you said that I'm doing with a shaman, and it's called Perspective and Possibilities. So that's who I am.
Amazing.
So
Thank you
thank you.
yeah, thank you for sharing. Um, so yeah, I'm hoping as we just kind of move forward, that could help with that discernment. And I think that really this is what I would hope to share with people is that discernment before. I love that you use that word because a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this too, I'll like jump straight into AI. What's the best way to like do this part of my business plan? To even ask myself the question like, should I do that? And I believe again, like I think we're all created for a purpose. I think most people on the call can agree with that. So is this something I should be doing? Is this something that I was created for? And if I'm created for it, that should, and I believe that my identity is unique, then the approach should be unique as well. And that's something, and I think AI can attempt to do this, but it gives us what we ask it. And if you're asking it this question of like, hey, like, what's the quickest way from point A to point B, then it's just going to give you that. But it's not going to include the nuance that is specific to your life, how you were raised, how you view the world, what you're okay with, what you're not. It's just going to give you cold, hard facts. Now, some of the things I was going to get to at the end was just you can program more into AI, and we really have to be intentional on the front end and say, like, hey, take this into account. Take into the account that I am a believer, and this is the principles I live my life by. These are some of the things that tend to get in my way, right? My AI is actually like it learns as it goes. I use ChatGPT a lot, and one of the funny things is it started to call me out because it's like, hey, I know how you are. You don't need to do that, and you're asking that same question again because you just want this type of answer, but that's not what you need. It's what you want. So,
Thank you.
um, yeah. So moving forward, again, how those stories, how those beliefs, how those narratives that we tell ourselves hold us back from what I would call a positive possible future. So, as we attempt to change any sort of behavior in our life, we have to decide, first of all, what is it that I truly want? What do I believe that I was created for? And how to define that is really starting to envision, okay, if this is the destination, a lot of the symbology that I use for Trailblazer Health Co. is like we're hiking a mountain, okay, and the peak of that mountain is that pinnacle, that positive possible future, the fullest identity that we can embrace and receive. So if there was no limitations, what would my life look like in whatever area that we came here to learn about, right? If that's health, business, family, finances. If if everything was possible and I could have whatever I dreamed of, what would my life look like? What do I believe that I was created to do in that area? or created to receive in that area? What's my purpose overall, and how does this area of focus tie into my greater purpose? And that's going to be something that we should intentionally create so that we can create from that. The solutions that we're going to be looking for should be created from a place of freedom, in a place of embracing that full identity, not from a limited place, not from something that we were told when we were young that just happened to stick with us and told us what we could or could not do. So then the next question is, how does a limiting belief or limiting mindset or a fixed mindset hold us back from that positive possible future? And to understand that, we really have to dive into those stories that we tell ourselves. So if there was a time that we set out to make a change in our lives, and for some reason it just never seems to happen, right? An example of this is like if I'm coaching someone with nutrition and fitness, and they say like, man, I just want to lose 15 pounds. And I've set out to do that each and every year, but for some reason I just like always fall off track. Why? And then asking that question is like, okay, you know where you want to be, but you're not there yet. So without judgment, how do we ask ourselves like, why is that? And just stepping back from the emotions and observing them from kind of the outside looking in of just like, okay, when I want to lose weight, I'm first of all kind of shameful or kind of disappointed in myself that I'm not there already. And then whenever I do it, I feel like I'm behind. Whenever I start a new program or a new plan, I feel like I'm behind. Or I go to join a gym, but I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm looking at everyone else to define what I'm comfortable with. Uh, and seeing everyone else around me performing in an area that I feel like I can't. And then all of a sudden, going to the gym becomes something that is innately stressful. And there's all these emotions tied to it when in reality it's a pretty neutral thing. So then we can start to unpack like, okay, like why do I tell myself that story? Right? Why do I feel bad that I want to be somewhere, but I'm not there yet? And who told us that expectation that, man, you should be there already? Shame on you that you're not as far along as you should be. So a lot of these things, we can call them limiting beliefs. We can call them lies. Whatever the word is for it, they're all kind of the same thing. So to unpack those things, then we start by asking, okay, when I think about this change I want to make, something's going to pop up when we do this exercise. Oh, I kind of feel that. When you play out this scenario in your head, like, oh, like going to the gym. If I decide next week I want to go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, there's going to be a thought or a feeling that comes up. And then we just start to trace that back from, okay, this is the path I want to go on, but where am I at right now? How did I end up here in my journey? And what got me there? And then as we start to trace those thoughts, those beliefs, and those stories back to their origin, we can understand like, oh, someone said something to me once upon a time that made me just feel bad for where I was at and not being where they were. Why was that? Is that a piece of input or information that I should hang on to? And that's how we can kind of get led astray, because there's a lot of words in this world. If we hold on to certain things as truth and as facts, then it's going to dictate how the rest of the journey goes. And then we develop a story around it. And so we don't have a ton of time, and we lost a little bit on the front end there. But just knowing that our minds are constantly going to be looking for information to support what we believe and what that story is that we tell ourselves, because that's how we perceive the world. If something doesn't align with the story that we tell ourselves, it's going to start to short circuit our programming a little bit. Be like, no, that's not how I see reality. So if something conflicts with that, we will come up with a way to avoid it, distract ourselves, um, rationalize why that's not for us. Maybe we know something is for us and we have a purpose and something we were created for, but we're going to water it down and say, you know what? That's not for me. That's for someone else. And then we're going to slap a label on it and say, I'm just being realistic because that's what everyone else does. So as we wrap up, and we'll just spend the last few minutes here, I just want to send you home with a few questions to ponder on. And then we can open it up for questions right here if that would help before we have to break. But yeah, these are some of the things that I would pre-frame a situation with before we turn to an infinite source of information like AI to make sure we're asking the right questions to go in the right direction because AI is just going to take you 100 miles an hour in any direction that you want to go. So you might want to make sure that you're going the right way. So again, what did we join today for? Why are we watching this? What do we truly want? What is it that you came to figure out about that? Why are we here today? What do you already believe in that certain area of focus? So if it comes to building a business, and a quick belief is to be successful at something, I'm going to have to sacrifice balance. To go up in this one area, the other parts of my life need to go down. Why is that? Or to be healthy, I need to give up the things I enjoy, right? If I want to go to the gym, oh man, that requires discipline. Discipline means that I don't get what I want. Is that true? What is the lie you're telling yourself in this area? Where did that start? Why do we hold on to that? And lastly, what does true freedom look like in this area? Now, I think doing these questions or exercises in a vacuum could be particularly beneficial. And if people so desire, you bake this into its own AI script, and it could try to help mirror things back to you. But just know that it's going to give you what you asked for. And then lastly, I'll just put my information up here. If anyone wants to get a hold of me, email would be the best way to do that right now. Follow along on Instagram. Instagram's something that I'm trying to put more effort in here in 2026. So I'd love to bring some good information there. And with that being said, we got like 2 minutes left. So I'm here for any questions, thoughts, if anything was valuable.
Where is your information, Matt?
Can you see my screen?
Yes. Well, I can see you.
Oh boy.
Oh, there you are. I had to swipe to the left.
Okay. I was like,
Awesome.
man, if that wasn't showing the entire time, that's gonna be sad.
No, I was on the page where I can see everybody.
Oh, cool. That's me. Sweet.
They
Matt,
might
where's
want
your
to.
business?
Go ahead, Deborah.
Where's your business located?
I presumably or predominantly do most things online, just to make it fully accessible for people. I'm located in Denver area.
Okay.
So yeah. I grew up in Missouri, traveled the world for a little bit, ended up in Colorado. So here we are.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
Of course. Anything else from the crowd?
They might want to screenshot the exercise questions so they can answer them later.
Yeah. If anyone wants to screenshot, we got those pulled up. Thank you, Nani.
Welcome.
All right.
Um,
Think that's about time. So if anybody wants to join, I will be planning to schedule an extended session for anything that we weren't able to dive deeper on here in just a few minutes. That'll be within the community. Some more information will be coming out about that. Anything else, people can email me, Matt at trailblazerhealthco.com. If they have any questions, or I'm happy to do just a free sit down with people and just kind of hash things out. If they have anything that they're wanting to find freedom in their life and how to plan a route for that, I would love to help people find the way. Thought of me. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining. All right. I believe if people would like to go back to the main room, I think you can go hit leave room and it'll bring you back to the main section and we'll go from there.
Okay, bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Goodbye.